tell me first of all, obviously people on web pages are very pissed at him. I don't know if you know this, because you walked away from a supposed amazing career, and you said,
I'm pretty annoyed about it.
What was the, I don't want to go what the reason was, but was it something where you just realized at one point?
I don't think it's one. I don't think it was one point. I don't think it was one point. I think it's just, you know, that you can kind of go along with it and just feel like you're, you know, for me, I just think to be doing this, you need to be promoting something that you believe in. Otherwise, you can't do it, and there's no point in doing it. It's just for the wrong reasons. And for me, it was just kind of a case of producing something that I did want to be doing that with, you know. So it's
right.
Kind of as simple as that, really, you know.
And obviously now with this band and this project, you obviously are hitting a stride which is beyond what most people have ever thought about doing, on, in essence, really a first run, if you will, because you've had experience before on how not to do it.
You know what, it's interesting you say that, because I think I think normally that's not the kind of thing we get asked in interviews, but definitely I think the first time people are just kind of sent, especially with major labels, I think they're just kind of sent to the slaughter, you know, and I think it's kind of a bit difficult, you know. I think you need to find your feet, but if things are going well, then you don't have the time to find your feet, you know. Whereas with us now, it's like, you know, I know that you need to put the time in the studio, you need to put the time in writing the songs, and I think it's kind of realising where the important parts are, and you know, I think we just do that. We do that better now.
Is there anybody, I was trying to think about, is there anybody that in recent history or in the distant past that's done this before? Because most people...
I think loads of people do it. I think loads of people do it. I think you just don't hear about them. Writing songs, you know, I think, you know, it just takes time to get that right, and although it kind of might feel like you're writing the right stuff at the time, you know, I think you're always developing. So I think it was just the fact that I was just a bit, it was kind of more too young, really, I think, you know, and not kind of prepared for it, and again, musically it was just something I really didn't like what these songs had been turned into musically.
Right.
So you can't promote that, you know. So
there's a lot of people making decisions in a lot of kind of major record labels, and I guess, yeah, it's kind of easy to sort of go along with what they do, you know. Whereas we've been kind of really lucky that we kind of know exactly what we want to do, and we haven't been kind of pushed around, and we're with a good management and a good label who have kind of let us do kind of what we want to.
Well, they let you actually be the artist.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You know, I think it was just finding the right people, from management through to the record label, through to everyone in the band, through to the people that have worked on the animation. It was almost just finding the right people for each kind of section, and definitely, you know, we did have some kind of good offers put to us with labels, but these guys, it just felt like they were, you know, it just felt like it was a people that were doing the stuff for the right reasons, you know, and kind of giving us a bit more space to, and it was just nice having that direct relationship with people rather than having a manager that goes through this person, that goes through that person. It's just nice just to be able to communicate between each other, you know.
Well, I don't know how else to describe this, but I think you guys are probably the luckiest, you know, considering what you've had to go through and realizing what you don't want to do, and at the same time being able to create what you've done with, you know, the artistic creativity and the people around you that let you do it. It's almost like it's back to back to the 60s.
Yeah, brilliant.
You know, and this is the only way I can describe it to you. It's like
exactly.
It's back to the 60s where here's the keys.
Yeah.
Don't crash it.
Yeah,
well, that's it.
But this is what we've been told for the last 4 or 5 years. This is in the music industry. That's not how it works, because it's not so much about money anymore. I mean, you know, I know it is about money, but if you don't,
I'm not sure things have changed that much. As far as I can see, we're still going around in a van and playing to people who come and see us.
But that's what bands did in the 50s and the 60s. They did the same thing. They just, you know, jump in the van, go on the road, do their thing. But nobody sat there and said, you know, here, you need to sound like this. Or I mean, there obviously did happen at certain points, but the artists that everybody fell in love with were the true originators and the ones who did.
I think
like
there were,
what you guys are doing now.
I mean, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of stuff. I think it's just that kind of stuff is hard to break through, unfortunately. But if you go out and watch gigs, I mean, I see a lot of brilliant bands. You know, I know the Kings of Convenience are out here, kind of just ahead of us on a radio tour, and again, just kind of brilliant band that they've got their own sound that are just kind of doing
for a long time as well.
Doing it their own way. And
one of the reasons that, you know, doing something like this is the fact that you get to say the name of the band, and then people are going to go, oh, go check these out. We'll have a link on the page. This is what he's talking about, and that's the way things happen.
At the same time, we toured last year with Tori Amos, and that was completely just about us going out and borrowing someone's audience and touring around and playing to people. So it was still very much that kind of process of just going out and hoping that that people kind of enjoy what you do. And then thankfully they have. And as we've turned up at gigs, people have turned up and sort of gone, oh, we saw you on the Tory tour, we saw you on the Bob Schneider tour, or whatever. Hopefully that will happen. We're touring with Gomez soon, so hopefully that will happen.
It kind of feels like it's coming from everywhere now, though. At the beginning it was kind of Tory. Now, now we've had a lot of support from radio, and we've got our first TV our first TV as a band is Ellen. We just got,
which is pretty heavy.
So that I mean, but these are just kind of like, it's just nice little kind of steps. And again, it's just nice to be doing it with an independent and actually breaking through, almost going, you know what, you can just.
Well, Bob Marley was on an independent label. So was U2 back in the day. So
back in the day, though, that's.
But so here's hoping that remains. The way you guys need it, because obviously.
Well, sometimes people are still carrying on liking music. I think it really is still.
There you go. That's what it comes down to.